All right, so Mr. Gonzalo, how did you come up with this idea?
Well, it's something that I've thought about for years. As you know, Cole, I've always been interested in the past at Mount Carmel and players who have played, and I just don't want them forgotten because we are what we are because of the players of the past. So I looked in the hallway, and our hallway doesn't have a whole lot of room, and at one time I thought, geez, you know, the weight room looks great. It's got the stripes. It's a perfect place to put pictures. So I thought about it for years and wasn't able to do it, but during the pandemic, I ended up with a lot of free time on my hand, and it seemed like the perfect time to get started. And I said, I'm going to do this. We're going to make this work.
All right, so was it difficult to get in touch with all the former players?
No, actually, it wasn't. I probably got in contact with all but 4 of them, meaning the first 4. I did reach family from some of the early ones, but I either text or called or emailed or reached out to someone else and was able to do it. And they were really gracious and very supportive of the project, and they tried their best to get me pictures. And once we got the pictures, I worked with it. I have a couple of programs at home, and I'm not a computer expert by any means, but through trial and error, and I'd print and one, and then you had to extend it or make it larger, make it smaller. Oh, you didn't like the color, and I worked with it. It probably took an hour and a half on each picture to get it the way I wanted it. But in reaching out, it was really fun, and the good thing for me is I've been around long enough that I knew most of the players, so that was pretty easy.
How much time have you invested in this project?
Well, as I said, it's been a thought for years, so I've had the research done on who they were. I've always had the names since I did my first football guide in 1977. But like I said, through the pandemic, it probably took me a full 3 months until we finally got the pictures the way I wanted them and got everything else ready for the project.
And how did you finance this project?
Well, I never thought about financing it. I just did it. I printed everything at home. I bought the frames myself. The next expensive part of the project was going to be the rails that you see the pictures installed with. And fortunately, Keith Forspring from the school here and Sammy Ryan and Mr. Fegley helped me with getting them all installed, and that part of the project cost me nothing. So it doesn't matter how it was financed, but it's done, and that's what I wanted it to be.
Do you think that seeing these pictures will serve as a motivation for current athletes?
Well, in addition to trying to remember the past and remember the players from the past, one of the other reasons for the project was to motivate and inspire young athletes like you and everybody else on this year's team and teams to come. Because although it doesn't make up totally what our program is about, I think it's a great sampling of the people that have worked very hard to put this program on a map and to help you guys have something to look forward to. And I understand through the grapevine there have been a number of players that have said, I want to be next up on that wall. So yes, motivation and inspiration were huge, and that was actually part of the text that I sent out to the guys. Guys, I have this project, I want to do it, I want to do it for motivation and inspiration. And they were also very willing to make that happen.
All right, so is this project complete yet, or do you have other sports in mind?
No, it's not complete. I started with football because that's my main part of my service right now, but the wall behind you up there will be women's basketball, where we have 5. Men's basketball has 2. Baseball has 1. And girls soccer has 4, so they will be on that wall. The wall behind me will eventually become the wrestling wall, where we have had, I have it researched, we have 27 medalists at states, and 17 wrestlers actually accomplished those 27 medals, so they will be on that wall. The wall to my right will be the most complicated, and it will take the longest, but that will be track and field. And there are well over 100 medalists at the state track meets between men and women, but we will eventually do that as well. And hopefully this will be a miniature Hall of Fame, so to speak, for Mount Carmel area.